Hello, listeners, and welcome to the Turnin Dirt podcast, where we talk all things agriculture and maybe a few other notable topics. This episode is powered by Mazer Group. Mazer Group is a family-owned and operated New Holland dealer complex consisting of 18 locations across Saskatchewan and Manitoba. I'm your host, John Mazer. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Carson Green here, who is the author and founder of the magazine Everything Country. Carson, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, this is we're sitting in front of what issue number?
This is my issue number 4.
Number 4. And number 5 is coming out soon?
Yep, right away here.
That's very exciting. Why don't you go in and tell me how you got into the whole thing? Where did the magazine come from?
So it's actually a crazy story. So I was kicking around ideas. I was on the phone with a buddy. I was shed hunting through a slough, one of my favorite pastimes, I guess, for the spring. And eventually we just landed on the idea. I don't know where it came from, but just, well, let's do a magazine.
Yeah.
And he was kind of not all into it. He helped me a little bit on the first few issues, but eventually it came to the point where this wasn't really something he was all in, but it grew to be a passion of mine, I guess, over the time. So I took it on full time, and I got just amazing support from the community. Like, I could not have asked for any of it to go better. And then I was interviewed on Discover Moose Jaw, CTV Morning Live, CBC, and it just exploded for me, and it went extremely well.
Yeah, that's so awesome. We actually saw you on CTV, and like we all looked at each other like, we got to have Carson on. Like, we have to have Carson on and get his story. So you say it really, the idea evolved with you and a friend on the phone. So there was obviously a moment that he said, like, as you said, he wasn't wanting to be involved with the magazine. Your first issue comes out. Is that kind of where the idea caught for you, and you were going to carry it even farther? Like, was the idea just to do one magazine and just see how it goes, or was there an idea to keep it going?
Well, I guess there was always kind of the idea in our minds to keep it going indefinitely, well, or as long as it was feasible to. And it just kept snowballing from there, and with more success brought more issues, I suppose. Yeah,
that's perfect. And so the next issue, you said, comes out in July or a couple weeks, so everybody's got to watch out for that. For as far as funding for the magazine, do you do kind of your own, I guess go to businesses and do sales pitches for advertising, or where does the money come from to do it?
So a lot of the money that goes towards the printing there does come from advertising.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff also from past issues sold is just ejected right back into the company to print the next issue also.
Oh, nice, right on. Could Mazer Group do some advertising with you?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, well, before we end this, I'm going to tell you that Mazer Group is guaranteed to do some advertising with you. So I want to get some information off you before you leave.
Right on, thank you.
Yeah. What makes you an advocate for the farming industry? Obviously, you got some history with Dad being here. You grew up on a farm. Yeah, tell me where that passion comes from.
So as you said, I've grown up on a farm all my life, Mossbank born and raised. I just fell in love with the lifestyle, and I really do feel I'll be in that setting for the rest of my life, and I couldn't have a stronger passion towares that agriculture industry and all that.
It's a great industry to be in, and it's a great, it's to live on a farm and grow up on a farm. I haven't experienced it personally. Little background on me, like, I was born and raised in Brandon, Manitoba. We had a family farm just west of town, but we wouldn't live on the farm. But I sure got involved in every aspect of it. We're just a grain farm. There was no. Do you have any cattle on your farm?
Yes, we do.
Oh, nice, right on. So yeah, and then obviously you've got some land that you sow and harvest, right?
Yep, it's a really rewarding lifestyle.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. When it's in the bin is the most rewarding. I think Dad can agree with that.
Yep.
Right on. So I got to ask, you're 15 years old now, correct?
Yes, sir.
Still in school. You probably missed today to come here, so I really appreciate that. What do the kids in school think of the magazine? And you're probably getting some notoriety from it.
Yeah, so a lot of the buddies all think that it's a good idea. I get photo contributions almost daily, like, hey, would this be good for the magazine, or what do you think about this? And I'm actually very glad that with all the kind of lashback that I've been getting, it's all positive, of course, and I couldn't ask for better.
Yeah, we chatting in our post or our pre-production meeting about how you're 15 and it started at 14, and just like we were referencing, producer Jay and I were doing, like, we were referencing what we were doing at 14, and like, I certainly wasn't thinking about starting a business and making a magazine. I was more after just chasing girls and going to school. And I think I was in 14. What grade is that? What grade are you in?
That's grade 9.
Grade 9. Yeah. So you've been in grade 8 when you started it?
7 actually.
Grade 7, okay, yeah. So 2 years back. Oh, that's right, because 2 years back. So grade 7, I would have just been going into band, played clarinet, then switched to tenor sax, play a little bit of basketball, a little bit of volleyball. You into sports at all?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
So I know this actually isn't considered a sport, but I'm a big hunter. I used to play hockey, not so much anymore.
Yep.
I got a lot busy with like the cattle, and then we got into snowmobiling big time. So of course, if you count that as a sport, I love snowmobiling also.
Absolutely, it's a sport. Yeah, you can definitely get into it. So let's go into the hunting a little bit. I know that you're a big hunter. So is there a favorite season that you have?
I think it's really hard to pinpoint a favorite season.
Yeah.
I really love archery mule deer along with rifle whitetail. Those are my two main ones.
Gotcha. And so you're into both archery and, like, I guess shotgun it would be, or rifle, or
Rifle, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell how amateur I am on hunting because I don't even know the difference between the guns. So I can't tell you that I'm not into hunting, but I used to go once a year. The only reason we haven't is because of COVID. We haven't been able to cross the border, and we go to Aberdeen, South Dakota, and we hunt pheasant.
Okay.
So it's once a year, and just as I was telling you before, it's actually illegal down there to start hunting pheasant before noon. So you can imagine what a bus full of guys going down there would get up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an R-rated conversation, so we'll just leave it at that. But that's my experience in hunting. So yeah, and then snowmobiling, obviously a big thing for you on the farm. I think every farmer's into it, but yeah, it's definitely a sport. Yeah, so don't let anybody tell you different. It's definitely a sport. What would you say your favorite part of farming is?
Oh, geez. I don't think you can really narrow it down to one favorite part. I just love how, all in all, the whole lifestyle, there's so much freedom involved in it. You're not, I don't want to say cramped in. You're not limited to like just your backyard in town. You have all that space to free roam and play around and go dirt biking, snowmobiling, along with, well, like I said, that rewarding lifestyle. You know, you're hands-on, you're working, you're getting that experience young. It's really beneficial to your future, I believe. And it's like I've learned tons already in this year alone, even compared to, what I would have learned if I was not in this industry, I suppose. Well
said, sir. Well said. Yeah, there's a lot of yelling room on a farm, if that's the one way to put it.
Yeah.
Sometimes learn the lessons the hard way, but learn them in a good way too. So you are fifth generation or fourth generation?
I'm the fifth generation.
Fifth generation. So you're heavily involved with dad in farm operations. Is there any earlier generations involved? So, like, is Grandpa still around, or is it just you and Dad right now?
So Grandpa is still around.
Nice.
He's slowly retiring, but he does still get out there every now and then. Yep.
Yeah. Does Grandpa still make the big calls? Nope. I like to hear that. Yeah. So he's in it. He's in it because he loves it still. That's good. Yeah. So we talked about finding sponsorships. We talked about Mazer Group being a part of that. What are the plans for the future for the magazine itself? You've got, I forgot already. This is the 5th episode coming out.
Yeah, fifth one coming
out. So what are the plans for the magazine? Are you keep it going as long as it can, or yeah?
That's definitely the plan.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of thinking there, I definitely want to keep it until the end of my high school career. And then from there, I always wanted just to see where I'm at with the farm and the magazine, and really just play it by ear.
Yeah. Good stuff. There's a lot, you pick up some magazines and they're not, I've got one in my hand for our listeners here. You pick up some magazines and they're small, and this one actually has a ton of material in it and a ton of writing. You are the author of most of this writing, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
At 15 years old, which is very, very impressive. So where does the motivation for this writing come? I guess you're talking about like all the things that you love and that we've talked about, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just living in the country setting really influenced a ton of that. Yep.
Yeah. And then it's full of everything for our listeners that need to get an issue, and that's a great topic. How do our listeners get an issue of the magazine?
So I do have a website. Just if you search up Everything Country Magazine, it should be the first one to pop up.
Okay.
You can also social media DMs on there. Also, my email is everything.country.mag@gmail.com.
Nice.
So there's a few ways to get a hold of me.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. Okay, well, we'll definitely be doing that. Producer Jay is going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing that, and we'll maybe put something up in the dealerships for you to grab some. So everybody that's listening to all listeners, make sure you pick up a copy of Everything Country Magazine, and as Carson said, you can find that online pretty easily. So, is there any questions that you have for me?
So how did you get into the whole, how did your family start Mazer Group?
Okay, so really, that's a good question. And we could do 2 episodes on this, but I'm going to give you the really short version. So my dad actually grew up in Radville, Saskatchewan. When he was 9 years old, his dad sold the farm and packed everybody up. He talks about packing up the Edsel. Dad, do you know what an Edsel is? I don't know what an Edsel is. So it's some sort of car anyway. I think it's a station wagon, but packed the 5 kids and the wife up in the Edsel, moved to Brandon, Manitoba. And they went from farming to selling tractors. Grandpa Mazer was a Massey Harris dealer in 1959. Fast forward to 1975. Dad was farming and also involved in the business. He was out in the field or driving around, and somebody told him about a tractor that was in a field. And they got the location. He went out there, and lo and behold, there's a Versatile 900 with 2 big stacks just billowing black smoke out of them. And he's looked at it and it's drooling. And my dad's literally drooling, saying, I need to have that line. So he went back to his dad, my grandpa, and said, do you know anybody at Versatile? He said, yeah, actually I do know somebody at Versatile. So they ended up getting the contract, and dad sold the crap out of these things for lack of better words. And so Mazer Implements was born from that. Went from Brandon Implements to Mazer Implements. Shortly thereafter, dad bought the dealership off of dad, which was Brandon Implements, and amalgamated the two. And up until 94, him and his brother were running the dealership. The brother went on to another dealership, which is also a competitive line, Deere. He's actually a Deere dealer, so that was fun. But yeah, Dad chose to stay with the New Holland line, and we picked up New Holland in between there. In 94, we picked up our first expansion dealership, which was in Hartney, Manitoba. And then there was Neepawa and St. Rose, and then you get to the 2000s. There was pretty much a dealership a year within the 2000s, okay. And so up until today, there's 18 stores. There's 5 in Saskatchewan, 13 in Manitoba, and we've come to be the largest privately owned, family owned and operated New Holland dealer complex in North America. Arguably the world. We'll just say North America for now. So,
right on.
So that's the story, man. I started. I just celebrated my 17th year with the company. I started out in construction in Brandon, so I was a territory rep for New Holland Construction, and then I had a year in marketing, which is a different story in itself. Marketing is a very special year into marketing. It's a very complex and special. It's just a very complex and special, what would you call it, segment of the business to be in. Because, Dad being a salesman, he looks at points on the board being sales, whereas marketing, you're just spending money. So, there was a couple of eyebrow raises on some of my ideas. But anyway, I got back into the actual sales aspect when there was an opportunity to become the regional manager for Hartney, Killarney, and Crystal City. That's in Manitoba. And then in 2019, the opportunity came up to move out here, which I jumped on. So moving out here, Carson, really allowed me to become John. Before in Manitoba, I was Bob's son, which is a good shadow to be under. Yep. But you make your own shadow, right? So You're making your own shadow at 14 freaking years old with your own magazine, right? Yep. I had to move away from home and come out here. So that's the story. Yeah, that's how we got into it. And I think you're going to share the appreciation for the industry and the business, that it's wholehearted people, it's great people. It's we have one cycle a year to get it right in the grain aspect of things. I guess sort of in the livestock aspect of it too. But there's just one shot every year to get it right. At the same time, if you talk to Bob Mazer, there hasn't been a year where the crop hasn't gone in. So it may be late, maybe there's been an odd field that hasn't gone in, but in the broad scheme of things, the crop's always gone in. So we pride ourselves in looking after our customers, and that's us. So I saw you walk in with them, and I saw you wearing the hoodie on the CTV interview. What is Farm It Forward? So
Farm It Forward it's a community organization we have out of Mossbank there, where it's a farmer will donate a quarter of land or whatever they want to donate per year. We'll pay rent on that, and then through volunteer work, it's farmed from people of the community. We have somebody, usually somebody signed up to do each thing, like in-crop spraying, seed it, like all that good stuff. And then at the end of the year, there's a big harvest. It's usually a bigger event.
Yep.
And all the money profited off the harvest it's ejected right back into the community for lots of projects. Like there's a new walking path in Mossbank there that Farm It Forward helped pay for that a lot. The pool, it did a lot to get the pool redone. I believe it did some with, we got new boards in our hockey rink. And this year we're farming 3/4.
Amazing.
Yep.
So farm at 4, and like it's so admirable for you to do this and be a part of that, Carson. Like, I mean, anything to do with community is great. And I mean, obviously that's that's one thing you're doing, like with the magazine, is bringing attention to your own community. So so there is every year that it shifts from land piece to land piece. That's what I'm getting, right? Like somebody else will donate, if you will, like the quarter section.
Yeah, typically.
And this year it's three quarters, you said? Okay, right on. So, and then everybody's got a job. Are you involved in any of the inputs or the spraying or the harvesting this year?
Me personally, not really.
Yeah.
Our farm is a little bit though. But me personally, I'm not running any
that's
implements
okay.
this year.
Yeah. I think that's great. I'm sure, like when you said the harvest is a little bigger party, like a lot of combines in the field.
Oh yeah.
Right on. A lot of different color combines, which is always great to see. Yeah. Contrary to popular belief, like I believe that everybody makes a good product. I just want to get that out there, so I'm not biased to, obviously I'd love to see you guys run New Holland, but when you walked in here, I asked you to pick your favorite on the shelves over here, and you picked a Versatile 620.
Yes, I did.
First thing I got to ask you is tracks or wheels?
Probably wheels.
Probably wheels. Oh, that was my watch. Sorry. Probably wheels. So 900 metric wheels we usually rig them up with. Rated at 620 horsepower. This is for all our listeners. Rated at 620 peak horsepower, 670. They run a Cummins X15 engine, Cat TA 2216 speed power shift tranny. They can weigh in at 61,000 pounds, and they have the largest cab in the industry. A lot of room in them. Do you have a Versatile at home?
We do not, no.
Oh, you do not? Okay, no problem. Yeah, just grab the one that you prefer there. That's okay. Even if there's one beside.
There's not one with.
There's not.
But that okay. Works.
So he preferred wheels, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to put it up in here. So there's the Versatile 620, available at Mazer Group. Just call your local Mazer Group dealership, and we'll have everything that you need to look into one tractor like this. So that's Carson's favorite. What do you run on the farm? I got to ask.
So we run John Deere.
Okay, right on. Yeah. So have you demoed the 6.9 or X9 yet?
We have not yet.
Okay. How many acres do you run? How many acres do you farm?
So we run about 10,000 acres.
Okay.
A little of that's pasture and hayland, but it's grain.
Gotcha. Right on. And major crops that you do, like canola.
Durum, lentils is the three main ones.
Good stuff. Right on. So I'm going to take a guess, like 680s. That's 680s you got out there?
We have one, I believe. We have a 680. That's Grandpa's combine. Oh, sorry.
780,
sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Don't worry about a damn thing, man. Yeah, we just had to confirm with Pops there, with our listeners. Carson's dad's in the studio today, and I was hoping to bring him in, but maybe we'll get him in next time. Right on. That's good stuff. So why don't we just shift gears and get into a little bit of fun stuff, if you don't mind. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do a blind rating here. So there's 5 fast food restaurants I'm going to tell you, and there's 5 spots, 1 being the best and 5 being the worst. So if I give you the first one and you say, I put that in slot 3, slot 3 is taken.
Okay.
Okay. You understand?
Yep.
And then so the other 4 have 1 and 2 and 4 and 5 to deal with. Okay. Right on. So the first one, Wendy's.
4.
4?
Yeah.
Why 4?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Let's just do it for you. Let's keep going here. Okay. A&W.
I'll have to give A&W a 3.
Okay. Burger King.
That's a 5 for me.
Okay. McDonald's.
I'm going to give it a 2, but number 1's got to be good here.
Well, it has to be good. What do you think it is?
Yeah.
What do you think it is? It's Dairy Queen.
Okay.
You take that?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. Right. I'm surprised about the Wendy's thing. Like Wendy's, I find, well, man, that's all personal opinion, right? I'm also a big advocate of McDonald's too, which people think is gross. So it's all good, man. Those are good ratings. Okay, so we're gonna do another one. It's Would You Rather. Okay. So I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you 2 options. Would you rather this or this? Would you rather be really smart or really athletic?
Oh, geez, that's a really tough one for me.
It is a tough one, yeah.
I'm gonna have to take smart on that one.
Yeah. Smart got you the magazine. Athleticism would get you all your sports like that, but I mean, this is where the money's at, man.
The world of sports only goes so far.
That's exactly right, buddy. Yeah, absolutely. Would you rather eat breakfast foods or dinner foods?
Dinner foods.
Dinner foods, yeah. Okay, good stuff. What's your favorite dinner food?
Oh, I'm a big guy. I really like burgers for burgers.
Nice, right on. Would you rather work in the hot sun or the freezing cold?
See, that's a tough one because
it is tough.
There's two sides to that one because in the cold you can always put on another layer, but in the hot
Yep. It's like that. It's that argument. Like, do you like going to bed hot or cold? Like, and I love going to bed cold because I mean, like you said, you can always add covers and like but I mean, if you're hot in bed, like I mean, to get yourself cooled down, yeah, like. But got in multiple domestics with my wife over what the temperature would be in the room before we went to bed. So, yeah, it's yeah.
So I'll go cold there or hot. I mean, but I'm definitely going to be drinking a lot of water.
Okay, perfect. Right on. Yeah, you're going to stay hydrated. Last one, or is it the last? No, it's the second last one here. Would you rather never be able to go out during the day or never be able to go out at night?
I'm going to say never be able to go out at night.
At night, yeah. Yeah, you'd rather never be able to go at night, yeah. All the hunting's done during the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on. Good stuff. Would you rather always have a full phone battery or a full tank of gas?
Full tank of gas.
Yep. Good stuff. I guess you're not at the driving age yet, but yeah, I can appreciate that though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, do you have your learner's permit or anything?
Yes,
like
I
that?
do.
Yeah. Nice. All right, did you drive here?
I'm driving back.
Nice. Yeah. How does there's all this graduated license stuff. When I turned 16, it was actually 15 and a half. You get your learners, you went in and wrote a test. Like you didn't even need any like training in cars. You wrote a test and then you could drive with somebody that was over the age of 18. So a little crazy. Like nobody's taught you to drive a car yet. So you write a written test and now you can drive a car in public streets. But anyway, like I loved it, right? So I had to pass the test and I could drive. And then when you turned 16, you had to do your practical test. But then it was like free reign. Now you guys have this graduated license thing, right? Like, I mean, yeah. I don't know if you want to get into the steps of that. That might be a little too deep for an egg podcast, but yeah, maybe one day. I want to thank you so much for coming in, Carson. Do you want to give us, our listeners, again, just a quick when the next episode is coming out and where it's available?
So the next edition of Everything Country comes out on, there's not a set date yet, but it comes out sometime in mid-June there. Okay. Definitely, before Canada's Farm Show, I'll be speaking there, so I want to have it out before then. You can get it on my website. It's Everything Country Magazine, or any social media DMs. Also, my email is everything.country.mag@gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much again for being on, Carson.
Well, thanks for having me.
Okay, man.